welcome back to another weekly Monday Live, where every Monday at about this time, I guess for me, I'd say 12 p.m. Central Time, um, we go live and talk about game news, and it has been a roller coaster to say the least for the last couple weeks. If you have been watching, um, yeah, there's been a lot of mess in the gaming industry and stuff like that, but as always, I'm here to talk about it, and if you guys have an opinion or have something you would like to say, I would love to hear it down in the chat. I love talking with you guys and stuff like that. And I do want to say thank you to everybody who has been participating in the lives. It does not go unnoticed. And I love everyone who continues to come back week after week and listen to me rant about games. So, yeah, and I always have to ask, what games are you guys playing this week? I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have been barely playing any games this week. I have been so busy, but I have been keeping my eyes out on the news pretty much and seeing what's going on like always. Last week, if you guys know, we talked a lot about Nintendo because they had came out with their Nintendo Direct where they pretty much just discussed the Nintendo Switch 2 that's coming out in June. And then they had a few other announcements, and it was a really big thing that they are now making their games, well, some of their games, not all of them, but they're now about to be $80 to $90. So $80 for the digital edition, and then $90 for the physical edition. And yeah, we all definitely had some opinions about that and stuff like that. Especially because nowadays they don't really include much else in the physical edition. Back in the day, it used to be like the stuff that came in the case. You would get like a little booklet with like some stuff in it. You could sometimes get like posters and stuff like that. So I'm wondering why they now decide to make the physical edition more expensive than the digital edition. And honestly, the digital edition should be way cheaper than the physical edition, especially because we're actually going to talk about something with owning the rights to the digital edition later on in this stream. But crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I did kind of want to go over a little bit too more about the games that are going to be releasing on the Switch 2 as of right now. So, and let me know if you guys are looking forward to any of these games. I mean, there's a couple that I might be looking forward to. But yeah, so here's like one, Star Overdrive. Well, I guess this isn't just for the Switch 2, but it's also coming out on the regular Switch. So this one, it came out a few days ago, April 10th. I actually talked about Monument Valley a little bit on my channel before. Monument Valley is really good. I actually played it on my phone. It was on Apple Arcade. So I don't know. I'm wondering how much they're going to charge for this. But I guess you get like two of them, so I don't know. Rusty Rabbit, never heard of that before. Lunar Remaster Collection. And then we also had a discussion about how much they're doing like remasters nowadays, which is insane. Capcom Fighting Collection. Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time. Some games are so like cheesy sometimes. I might mispronounce this. Animusha? Samurai's Destiny. I've never played this, but I'm pretty sure yeah, this is the second game. I feel like, yeah, it came out a long time ago because I've definitely seen this game before. Interesting, though, that it was on the PS2 and now it's coming to Nintendo. You don't really see a lot of crossover with that usually. Rune Factory. Rado Remaster, again, another remaster. Tamagotchi's Plaza, which is interesting because, Tamagotchis are usually those, like, little device things that you would have like a long time ago. We also talked a little bit about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. It was speculated for a while that they were going to drop 3 and 4 because they dropped 1 and 2 a while back. So yeah, we talked about that, and I used to play that game a bit when I was younger. I believe I played it on the Xbox. I could be wrong, but it was definitely fun. Patapon 1 and 2 replay. Don't have much to say about that. The Wandering Village. Oh, it's a city building game on the move, tasking you with expanding your city's reach while on the back of a giant creature. Interesting. That kind of, if you guys are One Piece fans, it kind of reminds me of that one arc in One Piece where they were like on top of the elephant. Shadow Labyrinth. I think this is like a spin on like Pac-Man, which is interesting. Tale of the Shrine. Another like cozy game. Gradius Origins. Story of the Seasons. They have a lot of these like cutesy type things, which is interesting. About time we get a new Tony Hawk. Yeah, it is kind of remastered though, so I don't know if it was like if it's a new thing or. But hopefully they add like a little something to it though. Hopefully. And then these are a bunch of games that just like don't have releases because, as we talked about before, a lot of people are actually scared to release the release date of their games without knowing when GTA 6 is gonna come out. So a lot of these are just 2025, like holiday 2025. I mean, even that I feel like probably was still released really close to GTA 6, but The Legend of Heroes, Metro Prime 4, which a lot of people are excited about, Shovel Knight, Professor Layton, and the New World of Steam. That is something. Pokemon Legends, Ninja Gaiden. Isn't that... I'm pretty sure that's also on PlayStation. I could be wrong. It's either it was on PlayStation or Xbox. Yeah, very cartoony. Yeah, definitely. And sometimes like the cartoony stuff could be like really hit and miss sometimes, because like, for instance, I feel like I only really like a couple cartoony games, and that's like Animal Crossing, just because I love like tycoon type games where you have to like build up money and then like buy stuff. I love those type of games, and then like the Mario stuff. But like other than that, I can't really name off the top of my head a lot of cartoony stuff I like. But I mean, and also too, I feel like, and I feel like Nintendo kind of needs to pick an audience, because I feel like a lot of their games are centered towards kids, which is fine. But then I feel like the Switch 2 is being centered towards adults, or more aimed towards adults, because of a lot of stuff that they like came out with, like the features and stuff that they came out seems like it's more centered towards adults. They might as well just say the dates at this point is going to be a minute before Rockstar starts talking. That's what I'm saying, and that's if they even start talking. So, but I'm pretty sure that's why they're even doing it in the first place, is because nobody wants to come close to that. Hollow Knight. I feel like I've seen something with Hollow Knight before. Oh yeah, it's that. I don't know why I was thinking it was something with like Little Nightmares, but I don't think that's the same thing. Anything else that looks Sonic and Marvel Comics Invasion. I feel like I saw this Rhythm Heaven once before, but I don't know. Okay, but yeah, so they are coming out with like a few new games that I kind of wanted to go through, and then kind of backing up the point that we made last week about their games now being $80 to $90. I actually, or not, I shouldn't say but they're starting to back up their prices, so they're like fighting back against people who don't agree with their pricing, and it's actually kind of crazy, so we'll watch a video on that. Yeah, it kind of does give Nintendo doesn't know who their demographic wants to be. It could just be that thing where they're just casting a wide net and just seeing what sticks. That's kind of what I'm getting right now, because I feel like with the Switch 1, they noticed a lot more people, or not a lot more people, a lot more older people playing the Switch 1 than they anticipated. And so it could just be they're just trying to like expand their network. Yeah, basically calling everybody broke. Definitely. Um, but yeah, I kind of wanted to show you guys this because I just think it's crazy. Um,
Why is Mario Kart World so expensive? That's the main question a lot of people are asking, and which IGN posed to Nintendo's VP of Product and Player Experience, Bill Trinen. And the long and short of it from Bill himself is that Nintendo looks at the amount of value each game provides, how robust it is, and applies price points accordingly. Now, his words exactly, quote, "Our general approach is really just focus on what's the content, what's the value, and what's an appropriate price based on that."
this guy, I'm sorry, no, I don't even mean to be rude, but this guy just kind of looks like he want to scam you. It definitely gives like scam artists. Like when you try to walk away, like if you're in a store and they're like trying to sell you on something, like, do you really want to? Do you really want to do that? I don't know. That's kind of, I don't know. It just gives scam. Yeah, the old Switch shows. I wouldn't be surprised.
He went on to say, quote, "But honestly, this is a game that is so big and so vast, and you will find so many little things in it to discover. And there's still some other secrets remaining that I think as people end up buying and playing the game, they're going to find this to be probably the richest Mario Kart experience they've ever had."
And I'm sure they say that about every Mario game. It's always gonna be better than the last. It should be better than the last. So do we charge $20, $30 more? I don't know. I mean, the original game did come out like a long time ago. They ask you a million times. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he does give that. He starts chasing you around the store.
So if you're unable to get your hands on the Switch 2 Mario Kart World bundle, it's supposedly big and vast enough to justify its standalone $80 price tag.
I don't know.
While that particular response from Bill seems more like a sales approach to stir up interest, he did give us a more concrete answer to why Nintendo is taking this approach. Quote, "Obviously the cost of everything goes up over time, and I personally would love if the cost of things didn't go up over time. But I think anytime you're building a new system that's got new features and new tech, there's costs associated with that." So
Not that
again,
much.
we look at what is the experience on Nintendo Switch. What's the experience on Nintendo Switch 2? What are the new features that it offers? And certainly, there's the cost of goods and things that factor into that. But we try to find the right appropriate price for a product based on that.
And see, it doesn't make sense, okay? Because they're saying, what's the experience on the Nintendo Switch? What's the experience on the Nintendo Switch 2? You're already raising the price of the Nintendo Switch 2, so why do you also now have to raise the price on the games if you're already raising the price on the Switch 2? I feel like it shouldn't have to be both. Yeah, I agree. Nothing justifies that price. $80 to $90 is a lot, and it's definitely gonna make an effect on the rest of the industry, and it'd be crazy if you didn't think so. Because Nintendo, and I don't mean this in a bad way, because they are really good at what they do for the market that they serve and stuff like that. But usually when you look at it like as a whole, Nintendo is usually bottom of the barrel as far as like pricing and stuff. They usually have lower pricing. I'm not saying their games are bad or anything. I think it does serve a purpose. But I do think that like as far as pricing, they're usually not the most expensive, especially from the games like on the Switch 1 and stuff like that. I guess the last thing I had from Nintendo was the Wii, and I didn't buy my own Wii games because I was young. But so I can't really speak on that. But I could just speak from the Switch 1. Their games weren't that expensive. They were usually way cheaper than stuff that came out on like PlayStation and Xbox and stuff like that. So it's really surprising to see that they're taking the first step to be more expensive, because definitely other people are going to follow.
So it seems regardless of the outcry from fans, Nintendo has no intentions of lowering the price points it's set. This will likely be a recurring trend in the marketplace where publishers pass the increasing prices of game development to consumers. But let us know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. All right, moving right along, Nintendo's...
Okay, yeah, so I want to wrap up this conversation because this actually is another thing that I wanted to talk about that's actually crazy. Another thing that irks me about the price increases is that Just because one company does it doesn't mean every other company got to do it. You would think at least want to be on their consumers' good side. Yeah. When it comes to the prices, yeah. I mean, I agree. I think, and this is kind of a random fun fact for you guys, but I actually not recently found out, but I found out that like car companies, they don't like advertise their like prices on cars, like on commercials and stuff like that, so they could be like the highest prices they possibly can. I guess it's like an agreement that like everybody like just doesn't release their prices so they could be as high as they can, and they can't compete on price and stuff like that. But I mean, I agree with like the gaming like world and stuff like that. It shouldn't have to be okay because they raise their price, now we have to raise our price. But unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. I feel like, and it comes just with everything, just like I said, like with the car stuff. I think they want to try and get as much money out of people as they possibly can. Um, and that's just the sad reality of it. It's like I said, it's crazy that Nintendo is the one that's taking that first step. So this one, well, I'll just let him talk and I'll give my opinions. But this one's actually crazy.
Switch 2's tutorial game, Welcome Tour, is gonna cost you $10. Even more so than the Mario Kart World game, this has rubbed some fans the wrong way, since Welcome Tour really seems like the sort of thing that should come packed in with the device, since it looks a bit like an interactive instruction manual showcasing the Switch 2's new features. But per Nintendo, here's what you can expect from the experience. Quote, through tech demos, mini games, and other interactions, players will get to know the new system inside and out in ways they may never have known about otherwise. Now, while it's definitely not as excessive as Mario Kart World's price tag, why even charge for it? Well, according to the same aforementioned interview we did with Nintendo's VP of Product and Player Experience, quote, it's really for people that want more information about the system rather than necessarily a quick intro to everything it does. And for that reason, and just the amount of care and work that the team put into it, I think it was decided that, yeah, this feels like $9.99 is not an exorbitant price. It feels like a good value for what you're getting out of the product.
Insane.
Considering Welcome Tour has
yeah, this feels like $9.99 is not an exorbitant price. Come on, do you think it's not that high? Gaming is in a crappy state right now. They're gonna charge you to press a button on the thing. Yeah, at this point.
Product. Now, considering Welcome Tour has players controlling small characters,
what is this game? I mean, I know what it is.
Console they just spent several $100s on. It's hard not to compare it to Astral's Playroom, the game that came pre-installed on PlayStation 5 at launch for no extra charge. So essentially, Nintendo's not leaving any coins on the table and making sure they collect as much money as they possibly can from consumers. But will it be worth it? Do you really need a world tour of the Switch 2 when you get the handheld? And are you willing to pay $10 for it? Well, comment down below.
See, the thing is, okay, yeah, I guess comparatively, $10 isn't a lot of money. But as he said in that video, you get Astro's Playroom on the PS5 for free. If you want to show what your system is capable of, it should be for free. Honestly, well, I guess that doesn't make it. I was going to say we should get it before we even get the console itself, but I feel like it should just be a free demo, especially like at like GameStop or something. This is why GameStop is declining. You should be able to like go into GameStop or something, and sometimes they do have like consoles you could play, but I feel like it's not nearly as much as like what it was back in the day. But hey, you should be able to like have this game at like a GameStop or something, or at like Target, Walmart, and it'll be like to showcase the Switch, right? And then you should also be able to have it for free on the console when you buy it. Like, they're the ones trying to sell to us. It's not the other way around. Like, why do we have to pay to see what the console is about? It doesn't make sense. That would be cool if I was an Astro fan, but I'm not, so there's that. Yeah, definitely should be free. Yeah, the Astro series is okay. I mean, I think it gets the job done. I think it's cute for what it's meant for, right? And then they came out with like Astrobot, which I think they're trying to make it more of PlayStation's mascot now. You used to be able to go into the store and play the game before you bought it. Yeah, and it's so sad. I don't really know why stores started to take that out the store, because unless like people were like trying to break into it and rob it or something, but I feel like there's precautionary measures that you could take to avoid that. So who knows? Honestly, they blame everything on the Rona. I feel like nothing was the same after that, so that could be part of it why we don't see them as much. I mean, they kind of started to decline a little afterwards, anyways, or a little before, I should say. But who knows? I feel like honestly, they're just kind of starting to get a little lazy, and it's really sad. Yeah, 100% they got greedy. Um, on to the next little segment. This is still kind of Nintendo though. So honestly, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't know if this is a new thing or not, but this is the first time I'm hearing about this. That you can play Sega Genesis games on the Nintendo, which is crazy because they used to be huge rivals. Um, so from my understanding, this is a new thing. But I'm gonna put this on just while I talk about it because I don't want to dedicate a whole segment to it. Um, and if any of you guys are like Sega Genesis fans, definitely let me know. I played a few, but I haven't played like a lot. So they like have all this like new stuff and stuff. But I guess so. This thing says in addition to Sega Genesis games, so you'll be getting that. Subscribers to Nintendo's highest online tier also get access to Game Boy Advance and Nintendo 64 titles, which the Game Boy thing is really cool because I haven't played Game Boy games in I don't know how long, and I kind of miss it. But I kind of just like playing it on the regular system just for like nostalgia and stuff. But when the Nintendo Switch 2 launches, GameCube games will also become available. Nintendo Switch Online costs $20 for the base plan that gives players access to online gaming, Nintendo Music, cloud saves, NES, SNES, and Game Boy games. Adding the expansion pack brings the yearly cost to about $50. That includes the base features along with aforementioned games libraries, as well as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass, Animal Crossing New Horizons Happy Home Paradise Pack, and more. So it kind of seems like they're doing something similar to PlayStation because they have like all those tiers. And I don't think Nintendo has always had that, but like I know with the PlayStation one, like there's like a base tier which just unlocks like a certain amount of or games, and then the next one, I feel like unlocks like more expensive games, and then the third tier unlocks like retro games and like games that came out on like the PS2 and stuff like that. So I think they are now starting to do stuff like that. I feel like they needed a reason to jack up all the prices up in 2020 was a good excuse for it. Yeah, and then we also get less too at the same time. um They forgot their money comes from customers. Pricing people out of their hobby is so dumb. Yeah, and it's really sad because gaming, and and they're probably just taking advantage of this fact, but gaming is probably one of the biggest hobbies ever. And it is starting to become the most expensive hobby, but I think they're taking advantage of so many people just love games. So a lot of people are just going to pay what it takes, but it is going to be a point I feel like a lot of people will probably stop, especially in today's economy. Like, are you kidding? Yeah, they got a Sega emulator now. Yeah, apparently I don't know when that came out. I don't know if that's going to be just like a Switch 2 thing. But I thought it was interesting. The only thing is I don't subscribe to their plans or anything like that. But I think hell yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, it's cool. um, yeah, so I thought that was interesting. But I think eventually I kind of just want to, like, buy uh, a Game Boy. And they sell them a lot. Like, I know, I'm pretty sure I told you guys a while ago, I bought a, what's it called? PSP. I don't know why I blinked on it. A PSP, and it came with, like, a bunch of games, like, pre-installed on it. It was really cool. So they have them. And I know they have them for Game Boys and stuff like that. So maybe one day I can get one and I could show you guys or something if any of you guys are Game Boy fans. But yes. All right, on to something that's not Nintendo. Because I felt, well, I didn't feel bad, but like last week, all I could talk about was Nintendo because it was just like so much news. So let's get something new into this live. Let's talk about Sony or PlayStation for a little bit. So I thought this is kind of cool because we talked about this. I think it was like a couple months ago when PlayStation dropped their 30th anniversary like title screens and stuff like that, and they're like, I think I shared with you guys like, oh, we're gonna be coming back with it, blah blah blah. So Sony is rolling out animated PlayStation 5 backgrounds for selected users featuring God of War and Horizon and more. What does selected users mean? I mean, I know what it means, but like, how do they choose that? Like, what does that mean? So yeah, I guess this is like what some of them will look like, and I guess they move. This Wednesday morning started with a nice surprise for PlayStation fans, well, at least for some. As highlighted by X-Profile Genki JPN, the company has initiated the distribution of animated backgrounds to select group of users. These backgrounds are associated with various intellectual properties fans cherish, including Demon's Souls, Days Gone, Ghosts of Yote, Astrobots, and others. It's worth noticing that these backgrounds are related to welcome page of the dashboard. They do not appear to be full themes like the classic ones released to celebrate the company's 25th anniversary. They are being lazy. These feature has been a highly requested addition by PlayStation 5 owners, and indications suggest that PlayStation has finally headed their desires of its fan base by enabling their customization despite some limitations of the console's background display. The situation is a bit weird due to the lack of any official announcement from Sony on the company's social profiles. Because of this, it remains unconfirmed whether this functionality is currently in test phase or if the feature that will be made available to all users throughout the course of this week. Okay, so while I'm glad this is coming out, my question is, why are they just now starting to roll it out years after the PlayStation 5 came out? The PS4 had this, if not day one, like pretty early on, they had themes. And it's actually crazy and it's kind of sad. Like, why is the PS5 so behind? And I swear, we talk about this every week. It's so disappointing. But honestly, like, kind of going back on our conversation from before, watch them charge for it. Nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised if they they pick one background off of here and they're like, yeah, give us $10.99 or $9.99 as Nintendo likes it, right? I hacked my 3DS. A lot of fun and convenient to move my games from its place. Oh, okay, that's cool. Selected user, shaking my head. It should be for everybody. We had it for decades. It shouldn't all be sudden. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get, like, how do they even select the users that's gonna get it, and why not just, and I mean, I guess the selected user things would make sense if they are testing it. That's the only thing that I feel like would make it make sense. But I feel like they're definitely gonna probably make us pay for it. And yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Why is it coming out now? You know, oops. Doesn't make sense. A lot of stuff in the gaming scene does not make sense right now, but what can we do? Um, all right. And then we got some more kind of dumb news. So, I don't even know how to start this one off, but I just feel it's just kind of funny. The Last of Us Complete launches as surprise bundle for PS5. Guys, I swear they have released so many versions of The Last of Us, it's not even funny. So, yeah, so I guess this is The Last of Us Complete. So I guess this is like 1 and 2 combined. Um so you could pre-order now and get it by July 10th. So you get the steelbook case with physical disc of The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. The Last of Us American Dreams comic with new cover art. And a set of 4 lithographic art prints. I'm wondering how much they're selling this for, because I don't think I saw that. Hey, let me see if I could find it. What the? Oh, okay, well, $99, a physical The Last of Us Complete Edition. Wait, so that's the y'all gotta be kidding me. A digital bundle is $99, and then Complete Collector's Edition is currently set to launch July 10th for $109.99. That's kind of crazy. It's not even that bad of a price difference. So if you wanted like the physical, you just pay an extra $10. But still, that's a crazy price for games that came out a long time ago. These companies ain't gonna learn till their pockets start hurting. For real, they'll learn. This not GTA 5. They need to hang it up. I'm sick of seeing The Last of Us 1 to 2, list 3. I don't care anymore. Yeah, and that's the sad thing. Like, The Last of Us, both games, in my opinion, are good games. So it's really sad to see them, like, dragging it out like this. Because it kind of looks desperate. Like, why are y'all pushing it down our throats so much? Like, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense at all. Because I swear, they literally just came out with a, like, it wasn't a bundle, but it was like a extended edition or something of The Last of Us 2. I swear that was like last month or 2 months ago. Yeah. Alright. Next. So, if you guys don't know, and I've talked about this multiple times, so if you watch my live, then you'll probably know, but so there's a new game coming out that we saw on the State of Play last year called Ghost of Yotei, and it's a sequel to the much-loved game Ghost of Tsushima, and we haven't heard much from it since the trailer dropped last year on the State of Play. So we don't know much about it, but we can make some assumptions based off the trailer. Like, she might have a wolf companion, and then it's going to be taking place at this great big mountain called Mount Yotei. So, yeah, and also kind of like a little fun fact, after doing some research, apparently the word Yotei means plans or arrangement, so that might give us, like, a little hint as to what we might be getting in this game. But it is announced that we just got like a little more information about what we could be seeing as far as like the story from this game. So PS5 exclusive Ghost of Yotei gets new story info and commits to its 2025 release date, but again, they didn't commit to a date, and we all know why that is. But so we haven't heard much about Ghost of Yotei in recent months, but after fans spotted a morsel of new story information published to the game's website. They're having fun speculating about how Sucker Punch hotly anticipated game on the PS5 exclusive will actually play. The official website includes the following story snippet. 300 years after the events of Ghost of Tsushima, a new warrior, Atsu, rises from the ashes of her homestead, filled with fury and determination, or fury, sorry. Atsu will hunt down those responsible for the death of her family and exact her revenge. Every odd job and bounty will provide the coin she needs for her journey, but how she fights, survives, and involves the legend of the ghost will be up to you. So we already know Ghost of Yoti's setting and time period, and Atsu was on revenge mission of some sort, but what we didn't know was that she's hunting down those responsible for the death of her family after her homestead is destroyed. So yeah, and this is basically just kind of restating everything that we know before. And then there's a mention that every odd job and bounty will provide the coin she needs for her journey, but how will she fight? Yeah, that's already what she said. Bounty hunting mechanics, in-game economy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so, I don't know, when I read that, it kind of reminded me of it sounds a lot like the Assassin's Creed Shadow story, because that's basically what it is. Like, Naoe wants to track down everybody who killed her father, because it's like this big group that killed her father. So she takes them down like one by one. And honestly, there's kind of a lot of games that are like that. So I don't know. I mean, I really like Ghost of Tsushima. But so I'm not gonna like completely discount this, but I'm also a big story person, so I'm a little disappointed to see that it's just gonna be like a story that we've seen kind of before. I mean, they could always take their own like twists and turns at it and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna like completely turn it out, but yeah, it still looks like really great. Ghost of Yoti is the only game that looks interesting right now. It's the slaying plot shaking my head. Yeah. But I do like these like Japanese style games. I always love like playing those types of games because the combat is always really fun. And also too, like Ghost of Tsushima had a very, very interesting combat like mechanic or like gameplay, I guess you could say. Like I love the gameplay mechanics. Because you kind of had to think about it. Because you had to like change your stance with a lot of stuff and stuff like that. But I mean, I have no doubts that it's going to be a great game. It's just the story might be a little overdone, overplayed, if that makes sense. And also, too, I'm wondering if we're going to be as wild with the graphics when it comes out. Because, like I said, Assassin's Creed Shadows looks really good. And it's kind of in the same setting and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I'm a little interested to see how that's going to go. Did I finish Assassin's Creed Shadows? Not yet. It's a huge game. Not yet. And I'm also kind of like a completionist. So, I've been like doing a bunch of stuff that probably...
For you.
Not that I don't need to be doing, but like I wander around a lot and like get the collectibles and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. So on to this is kind of probably the last story that I'm gonna get to today. But guys, like I told you, we have really been on some BS with this game stuff and like them overcharging and stuff like that. So this last piece of news is actually crazy, and I don't know if you guys have heard anything about this at all, but I would love to hear your guys' opinions on this. Yeah. We're gonna have old boy talk about it again because he's probably better at explaining it than I am.
Plus, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's This is your daily. All right, now there's a lawsuit brewing against Ubisoft brought on by two owners of the now shut down racing game The Crew. Now, no version of the game, be it physical or digital, is playable as the servers were completely taken offline March 2024. Now, two complainants state that they were under the impression that they were paying to own the game and not just have a limited license to play The Crew. Now, Ubisoft's lawyers beg the contrary by saying that there's clear notices of certain restrictions and that this was in fact just a purchase of a license to play the game. Quote, the reality is that consumers received the benefit of their bargain and were explicitly notified at the time of purchase that they were purchasing a license. Now, regarding the packaging of a physical copy, it reportedly has, quote, clear and conspicuous notice in all capital letters that Ubisoft may cancel access to one or more specific online features upon a 30-day prior notice. So essentially, Ubisoft is saying you don't own the game.
And I want to add really quick too, this isn't just for online games. Just to throw that out there.
As such, Ubisoft has filed a motion to dismiss the case. Now, if the case does proceed, the plaintiffs have requested a jury trial. They want to be judged amongst their peers. Well, whatever. Now, there's been recent changes to digital storefronts like Steam that clearly state you as a customer are purchasing a license to play the game and not ownership of said game. It's kind of crazy how times have changed. Now, usually when you buy a physical copy of a game, you own it. It's yours to enjoy whatever console you play it on or you choose to play it on that can actually play it, and you should be able to play it anytime you want. But with some games like The Crew moving towards an online-only model, you're beholden to the publisher and how long they decide to plan on keeping its servers online to support the game, which really does suck. But what do y'all think about all of this? Sound off of the
It's so disappointing. This didn't surprise me. A lot of companies are doing this. But it's just sad. This is why I push so hard for physical games. I get the appeal for digital, and if you guys, I kind of want to know which one you guys like to buy or which one like you prefer to buy. If I can, I'll always get the physical edition, just because of like stuff like this. Like, also too, a lot of times you need like internet to play digital games. Not saying that I don't have internet, but what if it is a time where like something like shuts off or something like that, and you can't have access to like the internet, like, okay, pop in the physical game, like you can still play it and stuff like that. So a limited license for games that's like $70 to $80 is actually insane. And I'm wondering too, like, what makes them want to pull the game down anyway? I get if it's like an old game and like the online servers are just kind of like nobody's playing it. I get that because they recently did that with what's it called? Little Big Planet 3, and I know it was like a whole thing that they took down their servers and stuff like that. So it's like, I get if it's an old game and it's just they're shutting down online, but what makes them want to just shut the game like completely down anyways if they are getting money for it? It makes no sense to me. I don't get the benefit. Really ridiculous. They want to charge you insane prices for this stuff, then tell you don't actually own it. Like, yeah, and I'm sure they put it in the finest print. You don't actually own this game. It's a limited license. So people don't know, and that's why I kind of wanted to talk about it today, because I will always be the type of person to advocate for physical games. I don't mind digital, but only if it's a game I'm gonna want to done. Yeah, that's a good point too. Like, for instance, well, I guess the newest games I bought, for instance, was like Assassin's Creed Shadows. I have that digital, but that's just because they gave it to me that way. And then I also recently just finished Alan Wake 2, but I got that physical, so I'm really glad I got that physical because it's a 10 out of 10 game. God of War Ragnarok I bought physical. Trying to think if there's another game that I bought digitally recently. Mm. Oh, I do have. I told you guys I'm a big Hitman fan. I do have Hitman games physical, but I think I was just like lazy one day and I just really wanted to play it, so I bought the newest one, the World of Assassins one digitally, but that's just cuz like I wanted to play it right now and I didn't feel like getting up and like getting it. But I don't feel that bad about it because I do have some physical Hitman games, so I'm not like too mad about it. But yeah, most discs don't have the full game on disc, and that makes me sad. That is a good point too. That was I recently saw somebody, I think it probably was like another YouTube video like explaining why that is now. I don't know if it's just that like the disc just can't hold like the full thing anymore. Um cuz games are like so huge now and stuff like that, but I probably want to look into that a little bit. I probably will look into that a little bit. But it kind of just goes with today's whole conversation that they are being greedy. I always put, I don't know if you guys have me on Instagram or follow me on Instagram, but I always put like a little note when I say that I'm going live. I always put like a little note, like kind of hinting at like where we're going today. What did I say today? Like, some more mess happening, yeah. um, yeah, so what can you do? It's like you could either buy it or not buy it. But hopefully, like, if it gets too crazy, I'm hoping we could all, like, just come together collectively and just, like, I don't know if the right word is boycott, but just, like, not buy it and get them to realize what they're doing. And it's kind of sad because I love games. We all love games. And it's sad to see that people are taking advantage of the people who love games. Most games get pulled for copyright reasons. Most all sports and racing games can and will get pulled, unfortunately. Oh yeah, because they do use a lot of like songs and stuff like that. I could see how that would be, and like probably like name brand like cars and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, I'm not a big racing like person, but I could see that. I have played a few. I played the Crew like when it first came out, like the first Crew, a long time ago. But usually racing games aren't my scene that much. But yeah, guys, I think that'll wrap for today. Lots of stuff happening. Not necessarily all good stuff, but hopefully, we could get some good news soon. I don't know what that'll look like, but hopefully we get it soon. I know Xbox announced that they're going to be doing like a broadcast like this summer or something. So maybe we can have something to look forward to that. I feel like Xbox has been kind of rising a little bit. I think it's getting there. Hey, Mass, Ari, gang. Welcome. You guys are a little late. I'm just playing. We're just about to wrap it up. But yeah, this coming Friday, I'm really hoping that I can get this Alan Wake video out because I really want to get it out. I've been writing it for a long time. I just want to make sure it's like perfect because it's just one of those games that, oh my gosh, it's just one of those games that what's it called? Like I want to put like my heart into writing the script, if that makes sense, because I really liked it and stuff like that. You've been here, okay. That's good. Oh, you're excellent. I subscribed. I'll be back soon. Thank you so much. Xbox is going place. I will be trying to get that new console. Yeah, I'm writing a script for the new video, Alan Wake. Cause for games that like have a deep story like that, I like to do kind of like video essays, if that makes sense. So I've done a couple like with like I've done one with The Last of Us. I've done one with God of War. Red Dead Redemption 2. So just games that like I really like. I kind of like to take a new standpoints on it. And like I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but hopefully you guys will like it. I try to make them a little more like deep and stuff like that, if that makes sense. Oh, you guys have all been yeah. So I'm excited. It's just a little more work, like I said, and a little more research with like finding clips and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try and get it out this week, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys have a greatly fantabulous day, as always. And I'll be back with a new video Friday, and I will be back on live next Monday. So I hope to catch you guys then. As always, AK out.